So principles are universal, but the application of those principles are personal, contextual, and geographical. So let's go. Two people got married on the same day. They started having sex with their husband, same day. 1 year later, one don't born pikin. 11 years later, the other one never born. Is sex wrong? Are you saying now? So that you are not pregnant after 11 years of marriage does not mean, I say, forget it. All this is, they are just deceiving us. Sex does not work. Forget it. Sex does not produce children. There are something they are doing, they are not telling us. No. Sex is the way. There is no sex with your spouse. But now there is something you don't know that is stopping you. So you may have an health issue. Your husband may have an health issue. Or you may be having sex in the wrong time. I said, so now, but to say sex is wrong because you didn't produce results, you are wrong, sir. So principles are universal, but the application is personal. So if you don't know how to apply that principle to your personal life, it may not work for you. Not because the principle is wrong, but because something is wrong with your personality. It's your personal problem, not the principle problem. Yes, Anna, it's personal. Number two, it is contextual. There is a context within which it can work. For instance, now, there is war in Ukraine. There is war in Palestine. Even if we say real estate is so powerful, it doesn't mean you should not go and buy a plot of land in Ukraine now so you get real estate. Now, doesn't mean real estate is bad. No, within the context of war. No, the Ukraine. So, to now say, forget it, all this real estate, I bought land in Ukraine, it didn't work, they are deceiving us. No, sir, it is where you bought. And the season you bought. And the context within which you bought. That's it.
True.
And then principles are universal. The application are personal, contextual, and geographical. Geography matters. If you don't understand the geography, so as we did here now, people are saying Nigeria is not safe. They are killing people. I can't come to that country. Security. We're in America, and I keep asking all of them. I say people are just deceiving themselves. As we were in America, they were telling us there was a shooting that took place in August. They were saying that is the 35th shooting in 1 year. When they shoot, they will just enter school, begin shoot. You don't hear say they enter school, shoot anybody for Nigeria. But they are still in America, deceiving themselves that America is safer than Nigeria. Why? Because maybe they heard that there's Boko Haram in one place. We are in Lagos. You don't see gun before for Lagos. They don't shoot you before for Lagos. I've been in Lagos for over 50 years. Nobody has ever brought gun to do like this, except police at the bus stop just holding gun. So, but we are safe. But they believe that, hey! So geography. I was still watching online yesterday, a doctor that has been in America for 25 years has relocated back to Nigeria with his family.
And they believe it's not all part of Nigeria that is safe. Like some other parts, we cannot go
Yeah,
there.
it's the same thing that happen for their place. Don't let them deceive you. Village day America, poor people, wretched homeless people, full America, full London. When they push cars, drug addicts, homeless, and full America, full everywhere. But they are now selling a narrative that you now begin to look down and say, that's why many of our people have gone now. They are suffering there. Refugee in another man's land.
But terrorism can be dealt with now. Terrorism is already disturbing us currently in the
Terrorism
country.
is in America forever. They never stop them.
Terrorism,
forever.
They approve gone for them. It's different from Nigeria that is suffering from terrorists.
We can't approve gun here. Don't try that. We never reach that level. If we approve gun here, we'll go to you'll provoke. Keep that for driver.
What do you
so that's what people should do.
Okay.
No matter how terrible you think it is, just look, sit down, think, what else can I cut? I know we have cut, but you have to keep cutting. That's the way it works because you know rich. What's in no rich? What you do?
Cut, you no seafood chop. You don't even get to chop, so where they cut from?
Listen, let me see. Sincerely, I'm a realist. I've been to prison to visit people in prison. Do you know the food they eat in prison? Some of them is once a day, watery beans with garri, and they are alive. Some of them have been there for 10 years and they are okay. Look, it's many things have been programmed to say, you need to have 3 square meals. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Many of these things we believe, look, with 1 meal a day, you are good. It's programming. If you eat 1 good meal every day, you are okay. So just reduce, okay, every day we eat once a day and everybody moves on with their life. You will not die. We have done 14 days fasting. We have done 21 days. It's not a mystery like that. It doesn't mean that's the kind of life you should be living.
We work towards
but when you are in
changes.
an exceptional situation, tough times never last. Tough people do. You have to just face the reality. You know, day, you go kill yourself. You know, where there is life, there is hope. So no condition is permanent. So it's not that we are not realistic and this we are not. They are just talking it. We know we have been there in this same Lagos. This place where you do, so I don't waka from Ajawa Estate reach here not less than 3-4 times. Waka with no transport. So I'm not talking from Ikotu reach here. I don't waka uncountable times. That will be coming with joy, going to church, trekking. I could have said, hey, all this church, it doesn't work. Well, if God is a good God, why am I trekking for 3 hours? But it is a process. So those things are the things that God is watching. Those are the things that make you, those are the becoming that can say that we can trust this one. So many times we are not ready to pay the price. If you jump up, you will come down. But if you grow up, you will stay up. If you get crash, you crash land.
Now, entrepreneurship is a mindset. So what the essence of entrepreneurship to see that, okay, even despite all of those challenges that are there, what can you be able to make out of it? So, but Nigeria's case scenario has tried to made it more difficult for people. What's normal life, people don't have it and things like that. So it's a mindset to operate a business and to run entrepreneurship in this part of the world. Now, what kind of mindset do you think an average Nigerian or an entrepreneur in this part of the world should have to be able to achieve some level of success? Because despite all you shared, despite all the challenge, there's people highly successful in this country. So what kind of mindset should one?
I think you should be very, very. You should be dogged. You should be able to face the storm and stand. Right. And I also tell people this thing: if you face the storm and stand, and it falls you down 10 times, you can reevaluate and say, "I don't want to face the storm anymore." Sometimes you cannot be stupid because you are trying to be an entrepreneur.
You can just be stupid.
You should not be.
Okay, you should not be stupid. Okay.
You can just say, you know what? I don't think I know it. I don't think I understand it. You think maybe I need to learn a little bit more. You can stop. The entrepreneurs that I appreciate the most, the ones that have actually started businesses and stopped it and said, I'm not doing this anymore.
Seriously?
I appreciate those guys and go into something else.
That's like giving up.
It's not giving up. It's assessing what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I give a good example. I mean, I don't know the full story about this, but Moabudu had Ebony Live TV.
Okay.
Now she's doing more movies than anything else. Right? People can say she was a failure because she stopped the TV channel. That can be the story. Right?
True.
She stopped the TV channel.
Yeah,
It's true. She failed.
It's true.
Right? Have you ever figured that she's probably making more money from making movies?
How would you know?
I can almost do the math. And I'll break it down to everything is common sense.
Okay.
When you're doing a movie, you have a start date and an end date for production. When you're doing a TV channel, you have no start and end date. You're producing continuously, every day. You need content for 24 hours. You're always producing something. You have an 8-hour block to repeat stuff and you have to change it. So you have a production house that continues rolling.
More resources.
So there's more, that's money. You're pushing a lot of money. Have you ever wondered how much to buy advertising on the TV channel? That's where you make your money from. Advertising. And when you look at it, even though you're paying 1 million for a 60-second spot, how many 1 million naira are you getting and how much is the salary for everybody in that place?
It's true.
Then she does a movie and she's making how many millions, hundreds of millions of naira. On the first night, I mean, Funke does this 1 billion take home on the movie, Tribe of Judah or something.
Yeah.
She stopped production. But a TV channel, you will continue. You're paying salaries every month. You're doing this. Tomorrow, they're going to change location. She was doing it in Tinapa. She brought it back to Lagos. She had to get a huge warehouse. She was doing this and doing this. Like, too many moving parts. But now, a movie or a series is a project that can start and end today and chill. If you ask me, I think she's making more money now than she was doing the channel. But someone could look at her and say, oh, she failed. She did a TV channel and she failed.
She didn't succeed, yeah.
No, she didn't fail. It led her to what she now saw to be a better business, and she stayed there.
So at what point then do you think someone should be able to stop, like you said, she stopped and move to something else? At
When
what
you
point should
realize
you-
that something else can give you more money than you're doing, when you realize something else can give you more peace of mind than you're doing, something less is... I don't think everybody wakes up to say, I want to work so hard so I can make money. I don't think you wake up and say, I want to suffer for the money I want to make. I want to work, but I don't want to die. Do you get what I mean? I don't want to die because I want to make money.
People believe
So
that
people are
you just
looking
have to
for
do the work.
smarter ways to work, not harder ways to work. You think your bricklayer today, if you showed him that he can make money using his phone, he will say, no, I want to carry blocks.
It's true.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it's true.
He won't want to carry blocks. I tell people, say, many designers are doing fashion. If I said, okay, you know what, let me handle your production. I'll give you the exact thing you want, how you want it, exactly how you want it. Will you give me your production? They will give me production. They'll give me that production immediately. They'll make me produce for them. They don't want that hassle. I don't think anybody would choose hard work over smart work. Instead of working 10 hours a day, you tell me to work 6 hours a day and I'll make more money. I'll say no. I was born to suffer. I must work 10 hours in the day. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. I once worked for a corporate entity when I worked in British America and Tobacco. And at 5 o'clock, they tell you to leave the office. At 6 o'clock, they stand them one. At 7 o'clock, they shut down the system.
Seriously.
Yeah, go home. Because you are still trying to work hard. Now, that means you are not productive.
Serious?
Yes. Effectiveness and efficiency is part of productivity. You had these hours in the day to do the work. If you stay longer, that means you're not using your hours correctly. You're not using them wisely.
Are you serious?
So when you don't have that time and you have to work within the time, you will ensure that your tasks are done and completed within the window you have. All of a sudden, your life becomes more balanced. But instead, you can go on social media and click away instead of working. You go and just with your office girlfriend. You know, your lunch is 1 hour. You can take 1 hour, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
you know, because you know that you'll be there till 10 p.m.
Wow.
But if you know you have to be, like to work in the weekend, we have to take permission to work at the weekend. If it's not approved, you don't come to work.
Seriously?
Yes. And your salary was tied to your performance. So during working hours, don't talk to me. Guy, I need to work. I need to work. Like, free me. I need to work. Because at the end of the month, end of the quarter, they will appraise you. And if your appraiser is below par, you don't get an increment in salary.
Wow.
So people are there working hard because they know they don't have extra hours. So it is possible.
Wow.
It is possible. So people are saying work hard, work hard. Let's think about it properly. When you say work hard. Yeah, work hard, but you know, the time you're using on your computer or sleeping in the office, you're not working. And you know by yourself you're not really working. Same mentality of people that own businesses right now. You're probably turning over 140K in a month. You're taking home 100K. You are there every morning. You're going to the market. You're coming back. You're fighting with tailor. You're doing all these things. I will tell you to come and work for me. Right? You're taking 100K in your business. I want to give you 150. Say, no, you want 300 because I'm shutting down my business. I said, but your business is not profitable.
Wow.
But you won't take the 300 because guess what? You're not the boss.
You're not the boss.
You're not the boss at your business. You're the slave.
Wow.
But you still don't get it. But because you are the designer and you get the designer credit, you want to stay there and suffer. But someone is saying, you come and work for me. You probably would not work as hard as they're working for yourself. And I'll pay you more. No, you want 10 times more because I'm shutting down my unsuccessful business. Unsuccessful business. I mentor people and I tell them, listen, your business right now is not doing anything. You want me to come and partner with you? You know what? Give me 70% of your business that's not doing anything so we can work together. I can guarantee you that we'll start making ₦1 million every month. Right now, you own 100% and you're making 0. If you give me 70% of business, you're making 300 every month. They will say no. Because you have a major stake. They're not thinking that I'm making more money. No. Because it's not my name, then I will not do it. what is your name doing for you? I'm saying this right now. If somebody wants to buy my business as I sit down right now for the right amount of money, I'll sell it. I'll sell it
off
in a heartbeat.
Wow.
If the money is right. That's what I'm working for. That's what I'm working for. I will sell it and work for the person. We have to get out of that clog system. I'm talking to young people. It is so hard to shift them away from there because they see the glamour of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No, you can be an intrapreneur.
True. Some people don't know that.
Look at the late Heber Wigwe.
Yeah.
He was an employee.
Yeah.
These are the kind of examples you should be citing. You make yourself so indispensable, so valuable, it feels like you actually own the bank. You can make money working for somebody as long as you are doing the work and you are indispensable. The person will give you a portion of the business to keep you there. Make yourself that guy. That should be the new strategy, whether you go into people's place, be an entrepreneur. Go there, put everything you want to put in your enterprise, in the enterprise, and make it deliver. And hold them to ransom. They will give you what you want. They will give you what you want.
Now, coming to mindset, how is the role of mindset when it comes to achieving success in this niche, in the beauty industry, and what mindset shift did you do or did you apply that help you to achieve some of the success you have?
Well, what mindset, really? For me, I've always believed in hard work. You know, I have always believed that your two hands can never fail you if you put them to work. They don't fail, they have never failed, unless you're not ready to work. So, my mindset has always been to do my thing, do my thing with all my heart, with everything I have. When I'm working with a bride or with anybody, I put in 100% of what I have. When I'm working, I go with the mindset that this person has to look at best ever today. At best ever. I want her to be blown away. Even when I'm praying in the morning, you hear my prayer, you will laugh. Even when I'm praying, the prayer that I pray, for my clients, that I want them to be blown away. Magnify yourself, oh Lord, in their beauty. Let their beauty shine forth. That's my prayer. Let their beauty shine forth like no other. So that is the mindset I go in. I need this person to look different today. I need her to look beautiful. I need whatever event we're going for to be super successful. And I want to be part of the success story of the day. Yeah. When they are saying, oh, did you say that person? I want people to say, did you say the makeup? So that's my mindset, for all my jobs. And you can't continue to have that type of mindset without something positive coming out of it.
True.
It must always attract positive feedback, from the messages I receive from the clients, from their parents, from their family members, from their friends. They are priceless. There's nothing that can, those messages are priceless. No amount of money, nothing can, substitute. So I have given them the experience. And at the end of the day, even though they have paid for the experience, they're still grateful. So it's a win-win.
True.
Win-win.
I like this mindset shift that people should approach when it comes to business and success. So what should be this mindset approach that you should have when you are thinking, or what should be the mindset shift or change that anybody that's looking towards achieving success or significance in their life should adapt?
I think it's very important for us to begin to personalize success
Okay.
and growth. What does success mean to you? Own it. Define what does success look for me at this point where I am right now in my life. The biggest mistake that we make, and we put ourselves under a lot of tremendous pressure because of it, is that we define our success based on what society has told us, based on what other people are doing, right? So I think the biggest mindset shift that I would really want to encourage is let us individually take ownership of defining what success means to each and every one of us at any given time in our lives, right? So because if you are the one who defined that success for me right now is a 2-bedroom apartment, right? Let's say you make that decision. A 2-bedroom apartment, a studio space, and my equipment's for, for my podcast. You define that. Not because somebody else has told you that, you should, somebody of your age, you should be married, you should be, no. Me, right now, what I want is I want a 2-3-bedroom apartment for myself, right? I want to be able to live alone. I want to be able to pay my bills. And I want my studio. And then after a year, you can then say, all right, now I have this. The next level of success for me is a car, right? Not because someone says, you're too old, why do you not have a car? Do you get what I mean? Or because somebody is posting cars on social media and then you put yourself under pressure that, oh, look at my age mates are posting cars on social media. So I think that is a very fundamental need that we have as a society right now, that we own our own and personalize our definition of success. Not because the world says you have to.
Do this.
And then you put, do you have what it takes? Are you there yet? So I would just say, and there are so many others, but this is what just readily came to my mind right now. That define what success means to you by yourself, for yourself. Define what growth means for you by yourself, for yourself. If you wake up every morning, and I say this to people who sign up for one of our flagship mentoring programs, you wake up every morning, as you're getting ready, ask yourself, what does growth mean for me today? Today, one day at a time. I need to achieve this, 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 then I would have felt that I was successful, I'm growing, right? And you do that. It's very affirmative. It's very empowering, because then tomorrow you will build on what you have achieved today and you will define the next definition. You give yourself the next definition and you achieve it. And even if you don't, you can go back and say, I'm going to try again. I didn't achieve this today, I'm going to try again tomorrow. And then with that, it just allows us, it gives us room to grow in an exponential way beyond the pressure, because this pressure that we constantly expose ourselves to, it is disempowering, it limits us, and also at the same time, it gets us into a lot of trouble. Our people are dying young, people are developing all kinds of illnesses, and the societal ills are increasing every day just because we are under pressure from people we don't know, people whose variables we don't understand. We don't know where they're coming from, we don't know where they're going, but we allow them to be pressing our necks. So I think that is a very fundamental mental shift that I think we need.
Yeah, as we finalize this now, what do you think are the future of the entrepreneurship in Africa?
Growth, massive potential growth. Africa has the number. Africa is right now the continent with the largest number of young people. It's a consumer society, so massive growth opportunities are here. There's a lot of gaps to be filled. There's a lot of innovation waiting to be happened. There's a lot of solutions that the continent needs. So a lot is happening here. And the growth is unprecedented.
Even with the leadership challenges
Even with the leadership challenges that we have. Now, of course, if we did not have the leadership challenges, this conversation is not, because people will be seeing the outcome. So it's also that Africans are most Africans are self-driven. And we're self-driven because we don't have anyone to drive us. We've had terrible leadership over the years. So we drive ourselves to feed ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to provide solutions to our own problems. So, but that's a massive opportunity. So wherever anyone is in the world, the opportunities are right here in Africa. And if we can maximize it, even if you're outside of the continent, if there are solutions that you have that will benefit people here and can make you money, why not? Bring it to Africa, share it with Africans. And Africans ourselves, the same thing applies. Massive growth opportunity, developmental opportunity on the continent.
Building a business in this part of the world can be quite challenging and difficult. Now, what do you think should be the top mindset shift of an average person in this part of the world to be able to help you to succeed in business?
No, it's going to be difficult. It's difficult anyway. But I think the difference between Nigeria and I'll use my own personal example, Nigeria and the US. The difference between Nigeria and the US is in the US, there are processes in place. It's very easy for you to approach a problem from a perspective of having a predefined process to things.
Okay.
You get, there was something I told a cousin of mine once that called me. She was crying and complaining about Nigeria, that she's tired of Nigeria. Nigeria is a lawless country. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. And I was like, okay, settle down. So I was like, what do you want? Do you want to japa? She was like, she's still making up her mind. So I was like, okay, let me tell you the realities. Nigeria isn't perfect. Africa isn't perfect. There are different spectrum when it comes to Africa. So I try not to generalize Africa when I'm talking about specifics in terms of where we're at. But Nigeria in specific isn't perfect. But what you need to understand about doing business in Nigeria and doing business in so-called developed economies is that Nigeria is basically a society where the path isn't clearly spelled out for you. But there's more freedom to how you want to approach it within the legal framework. While most advanced societies have more structured pathways, you get, so Nigeria is almost like you have to figure things out yourself. Where developed societies, a lot of the things you do, unless you're maybe at the frontier of innovation, like guys like Elon, you quite literally already have processes in place that you can just follow.
I can just follow, yes.
So if you're building here, I'm very sorry for saying this, but unless you're a VC that has invested in Nigerian or African countries and you were close enough to the founder to have honest conversation about the challenges they're facing, you have no business advising a Nigerian or African founder. Because honestly, it would mislead them. I see heavily funded companies in Africa with very good fundamentals, but fundamentals that will only work in organized societies. Honestly, just go and build. Just in short, I'll give you a typical example. It might not fit into my internal logic perfectly, but at least it does a level. I think it was Uber that recently invested in Move, and as soon as they invested in Move, you notice Move moved most of their operations out of Nigeria. Started offering their services more in other countries. Why do you think that happened? Because of the fact that the problem they were solving here, and they started solving here, the model that they needed to apply, that they found that hits product market fit, couldn't fit into the Nigerian situation perfectly, but could fit into someone else's situation. So I think a lot of founders aren't aware of that. A lot of VCs aren't also aware of that. A lot of people fail to realize that Nigeria isn't as unified of an economy as they assume. What works in Lagos will not work in Akwa Ibom. What works in Akwa Ibom will not work in Kano.
Seriously.
What works in Kano would obviously not work in Nasarawa. That's what people need to understand. Recently, a lot of people have been asking me why I have been deploying a lot of my funds, my company's funds, into a specific state, Cross River State. People ask, is that because you're from Cross River State and all that?
especially on the PE side. I like to tell them that that's because of the fact that to a significant level, I have figured out that market. So it's easier for me to max out that particular market. If you want me to invest into multiple markets, multiple states, I need to take out time to figure out those states, how things work, who are the key players, who do I need to talk to.
Why do you say what works in a particular state cannot work in another state?
Let me give you an example. If you want to buy, let's say, a paint manufacturing company in Cross River State, and you want to buy a paint manufacturing company in Abuja or in Port Harcourt, there are two different transactions. There are two different things to look out for. If you're buying a paint manufacturing company in Cross River State, especially in Calabar, what you need to understand that your competitive advantage is cost of transportation. Because Cross River State is at the edge of the country, meaning your competition need to quite literally ship their own product into Cross River State. And you have an advantage against them in terms of cost. Meaning your major problem, which is cost, has already been wiped out. Meaning what you need to look out for, completely different. If you need to do the same deal in Abuja, it's not cost of transportation that is your major competitive advantage that you need to look at, because you obviously have Abuja as a hub that a lot of places connect to, and you have other competition in a place like Abuja, meaning different dynamics. In a place like Cross River State, you can invest in a paint manufacturing company, and if you just talk to the right people, you don't even need to do marketing. I'll even give you another example. Let me use this example because it is more pragmatic. When I still run my real estate fund, I used to do projects in Abuja, and in Abuja, for you to sell real estate, you need to like do clean marketing, billboards and everything, and then people will drive and say, okay, this company is doing XYZ, so it makes sense, and their branding is dope. When I started investing in Onakoya, I felt it was the same thing. I approached it with the same format. We put billboards everywhere, scattered billboards everywhere. I remember the first project we did in Calabar, I put billboards everywhere. Only 2 persons called. Spent about 8 million doing billboards. Quite literally only 2 persons for billboards. Then we noticed the way to approach it wasn't by doing billboards. It was by talking to individuals that just had stronger network of friends. Because cities like that are more about clicks. So you would take a broad macro perspective and business model and go into this market thinking it's supposed to work there. That's not how Nigeria is. Nigeria is diverse. You need a more broken down approach for different markets. Same thing with Lagos. Lagos is a place that if you make noise, people would patronize your business. If you make noise in a place like Calabar, people will run away from your business because they're like, oh, everybody knows what's going on here. Because they want certain level of privacy, certain level of exclusive access.
Seriously.
You understand? So it's different markets.
So, but are there things that you can say are there principles or laws that you can say apply anywhere, any part of the world, whether in Nigeria or anywhere?
Obviously, there are. When
it comes to business building and success.
Obviously, there are tons of things.
Like,
one of them is like something as simple as making sure you do your books, making sure you pay your taxes, making sure you have those processes in place, making sure you have a strategy, annual strategy, a quarterly strategy.
Those ones are different. I'm talking about what will ensure your business must grow. Are there those principles that are universal that will ensure business growth?
I think the most consistent one is just endurance and consistency. That's the most universal one. I know why people need to hear a universal answer when it comes to that, but I think we try, as human beings, we try to dilute things to a core that we can actually hold, like a truth that is universal. And it might be my limited experience, but I think the world is a bit more nuanced than that. There are differences in how things are done in different places. I have a friend that does business that just recently opened up her business in Japan, and she quite literally had to move to Japan to live for 6 months to understand the culture there, to understand how business is done there, to approach, understand even who buys what, like the consumption pattern. Is it men? Is it women? You get in the West, you know the patterns. You get it's data. There are things data can show you. There are things data can't show you. You need to understand it to be able to succeed there. I think that's why you have this massive expansion. I think that's why Chinese businesses do better in Africa than European or American businesses, because the Chinese business model is that they send someone to quite literally live here and live not in a tush part of the city, you understand,
Yes.
but to live there and actually understand the people. You see a lot of businesses selling to their Chinese, a lot of American business, European business selling to their Chinese counterparts. It happens because of the fact that they try to approach the universal truths, you understand, and apply it to Nigeria. It doesn't work. They get frustrated. You know what? I'm done with Nigeria. Chinese people can't take over this. They are able to be more nuanced in how they approach things. So I think even for us Africans and for Nigerian business owners, we need to also be nuanced in how we approach what might work in terms of success in different areas, because here's the truth. Nigeria especially, we never really from inception had a grand vision that we wanted to paint, that we're headed to, even till today. We never had that conversation with ourselves. We never had that grand vision. In short, all that every Nigerian just knows is that I want to make money and I want to run away from poverty. That's basically it. You know, you get. So how that evolution and development happen in different parts of the country is very different. And unless you're someone that has worked in different parts of the country, you won't notice it. It is very different. I'll give you a simple example. One of the people try to understand why you don't really have very wealthy people from certain states that have so much resources and it's very easy to make money. I had a conversation recently with an investor that was looking at diversity in culture, and he was talking about he doesn't understand why people from this particular place that have access to all these resources that can make money very quickly don't make as much money as they should. What's the problem? So I had to just explain to him. I was like, that's because for them it's easy to make money, and then the bar isn't that high. There's a reason why people in Lagos that live in Lagos and have lived in Lagos for a long time tend to try to aggregate way more resources, and people in Abuja try to aggregate way more resources. It's simply because of the fact that life is more expensive here. So there's that culture of you want to make more money because honestly you're buying water for 25,000 naira every day because there's no clean water. You get in Abuja, you need to buy a property of 400 million naira, 500 million naira, 600 million naira before people feel your business is doing well. In a place like Uyo, honestly, you can build a house for 40 million naira, buy the land for 15 and you're good. What is that guy's motivation for making 10 billion naira? You understand, when he knows that all he needs is to go back to that his business, that is whether it is palm estate or that is rubber estate or whatever, and do ABC, and he makes enough money that can sustain him for the next 5 years. So once you understand it, so imagine going to someone like that and trying to tell him there's this business you can do to make 5 billion. He's not interested in that conversation because he's okay. You get.